We got one more, then we're going to have another break. We're going to keep the break quite short because we've still got a few more acts and then the open mic. So before the next drinks break, we've got a guy called Dan. Sorry.
Hunt.
I was going to say Dan Brown, and I suddenly thought your name's not Dan Brown though. So yeah, it's Dan Hunt. I'd never heard of Dan Hunt until Lee sent me a video of him, and we were already a bit oversubscribed. But I was just like, yeah, we have to have this guy because he's just got his own unique style. And yeah, really looking forward to the next 10 minutes again. Can we have another round of applause for Dan Hunt?
Some people say they hate police and make for no exception, but there's wankers in all walks of life and pricks in all professions. I'm sure there's clowns that hate the young and teachers hate their lessons, or kids' TV personalities with unhealthy obsessions. Now then. I'm sure some Nazis are only in it for them snazzy uniforms, for the days like work and the goose-step gimmick and the social side of it all. I'm sure there's vegan butchers, Muslim brewers and male stylists who ain't gay. I'm sure there's pyromaniac firemen just in it for the pay. Drug dealers have ripped me off far more times than any copper could do. But give me an underweight eighth any day than a beating from a bully in blue. Cheers. Has anyone ever listened to London's premier talk radio station, LBC? Yeah. Apparently it stands for London's biggest conversation, but I think the C might possibly stand for something else. London's biggest conversation continues, and we all phone in with our sick views. The global economy is controlled by Jews, women buy too many shoes, 9 in 5 children are sexually abused, and the Polish are coming after you. All young people carry knives, or married men pick up their wives, and paedophiles are everywhere. Aliens have landed and no one cares. Only Nazis do cocaine. I think the parents are the ones to blame. Plumbers, Muslims and redheads are evil. Students are lazy and you can't trust gay people. Night time is too dark, abroad is always too far. Far away ain't far enough. I think prison should be more tough. It's too hot, it's too cold. Young people are too old. Old people stink of piss, but they're the only fuckers who listen to this shit. So, London's biggest conversation will continue. Cheers. I had a chat with an ex-girlfriend recently, and she said that the problem with you, Dan, is that you need to grow up. I don't think she was taking the piss out of me height. It's more like emotionally than that. And I should also point out that I really excitedly ran up the bus today, and I got to drive on the free seat on the upper deck. Anyway, I was trying to plan out how I was going to grow up, and this is kind of my battle plan for it. I'll get a job up in the city, an ex-wife who's far too pretty, join a small council committee and then say that I've grown up. I'll get a mortgage, a stockbroker, become a cyclist, an ex-smoker, Friday nights play online poker and insist that I've grown up. I'll get me worldviews out the Guardian, I'll act all la-di-da, and then I'll get an ethnic best friend so diverse and so grown up. I'll host vegan dinner parties, watch French films what are dead arty. My colleagues will coo, he is so suave and so grown up. I'll pretend that I like jazz, I'll take offence to the word spaz, under my eyes I'll grow some bags, be so exhausted and grown up. I'll stop going down the pub, stop seeing mates, stop taking drugs. I'll go online to find love, to settle down and then grow up. Have several kids that all despise me and become a grammar Nazi. I think I'll top myself on Friday, because it's shit being grown up. Ever notice how people only seem to get trains out of here? It's them suburban London snarls and them Burberry jeers. It's the headnights, the cat fights and pavement pugilism. It's toe rags in bars, R&R from their next stint in prison. And I'm sure that I'll get called a puff by a group of plastic geezers who give it large and think they look hard as they damn Bacardi breezers. They'll talk birds and footballers, they snort up their week's wages, all with IQs lower than children's reading ages. You can taste spite and hate in the air, everywhere around here. Sod Slough from suburbia, and that'd make me year. There's this perceived divide between North and South London. I don't agree with it. I mean, it's nice to be gigging in South London for once. I haven't got to sit on a fucking tube for 12 hours. It's about that. My boss's boss won't go south of the river. There's no tubes, there's just buses, she says. It's where people's lives diminish and wither and dreams choke in concrete and death. It's all flats and rats and knives and drugs, and you can't get Prosecco at your local pub, and none of the open mics are unplugged. You can't get a taxi, it's all minicabs. The driver speaks foreign and won't have a map. He charges too much for me to get back, and if I give my address, then he might rob me flat. South London always feels that little bit cold. Poor people in pawn shops and bedsits with mould, and the girl over there doesn't look very old to be pushing a pram and collecting the dole. Oh, why would one even bother to travel to a place where one can't procure hummus or fennel? And all the art galleries close at 6:30 and seem to be run for disadvantaged kids. And I can't tell her this because I quite like my job, but when she opens her mouth I think you poncy snob. I think the only reality between us lot and North Londoners is we have to sit on a bus a bit more than them cunts. Which goes neatly into my next poem, which is a bit of a love poem I wrote to Boris Johnson about my appreciation of the TfL service, what is the 176. I'm not sure if you lot appreciate that, but if you fall asleep on that fucker, you wake up in Penge, which is not good. The bus was always full of pricks, children and proud lunatics. The elderly with walking sticks would sit and moan and stare and bitch. In the morning fucking freezing, in the afternoon it's heaving. Never there when you need them, choking on the smoke they're breathing. Ferry for young boys with knives who wear hoods and hate for lies. The drivers act like they despise every other person. The bus was always full of cunts, unafraid to push and shove. Girls the size of elephants would shriek and shout and slurp and grunt. They try and pack you in like cattle, make getting home a fucking battle. And nauseous motions, engines rattle for a pissed up, pestilential rabble. They stop to regulate their service, double-decker red fucked hearses. Then you hear those bitter curses, I could have got a tube here. I recently moved out of Brixton. Because I couldn't afford it. It's true. Couldn't afford to live in Brixton anymore. It's odd for a white middle class bloke to moan about gentrification of Brixton. Here we go. Never closing office marked with nasty neon lights, for that discerning cider drinker who needs cans right through the night. You catch him in the morning, he looks utter shite. What a frightful sight at each first light of Brixton. Gold teeth get kissed as I walk past, they get stared down to show who's in charge. He was a gangster once just for a laugh. Was it large? Cause he's from Brixton. Sweet marijuana tunnels to the market stalls where spliffs resemble funnels. Smoked by blokes who've seen it all. Tempers here are short and the tails are rather tall. I'm enthralled and appalled with you, Brixton. White shops open as black butchers close. They sell spangly candlesticks and vintage clothes. What's called Brixton Village? I don't fucking know. Hello? Are you still there, Brixton? It's a bit like Shoreditch, with a little more crime. The trendy come to visit down the blue tube line. I sowed the water, double vodka and lime. Cry, is it time for a bourgeois Brixton? I fucking hope not. Okay, sorry, got one or two more? Grand. Has anyone ever been mates with someone that's just turned out they're an utter cunt and you never realised it? I'm not going to name names, Sean! But this poem is called Dear John Dodd. Your voice is emetic, your thoughts are pathetic, your constant shortcomings are vaguely prophetic. It's a hectic agenda just trying to keep up with all your character flaws. You're imposing as neighbours who ask for a favour at 3 AM when they bang on a door. Your presence is welcome as piss on a carpet. Your very existence is significant hardship. If only your father had gotten a snip and the whole world was spared your torrent of bullshit. You've an absence of modesty, an ad-libbed honesty, fictional chat as your favourite commodity. I've only just realised that rather ironically you're mundane and you're boring and yet still quite the oddity. Your life's rather fruitless, your friendship quite useless, but a little too cowardly to be called ruthless. An amateur boozer and prostitute user, quite accomplished to irritate. So I shudder to mention my naive intention that I would ever call you my mate. I've got one more. I've been done on. You lot have been brilliant. Has anyone ever called up an ex-partner after a few jars?
No! Yeah! No!
Infinitely worse than that is just turning up at their doorstep at 4 AM. I call it talking juice myself. 8 pints later, and I'm on autopilot back to your gaff. Slightly mashed and full of lager gas. I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry I fucked up and I worry I'm still in love, but logic's a little lost in this hazy boozing buzz. So I ring the bell and dwell on this slightly risky plan of a pissed remissed man who decides to make a stand whilst legless. Romantically reckless in my intentions, but did I not already mention I might have been drinking? There's nowhere open at this late hour for that bouquet of flowers, and so gifts now consist of a Twix, some crisps and a can of Tizer. But cider rarely inspires that romantic side of you. The night's long lost the Sambuca shooters. Romeo here is far from lucid, and fuck you, Cupid. Because I feel a little stupid just stood on your doorstep thinking, but did I mention I might have been drinking? So the doors let off the latch and I feel an awful prat, and there's one life lesson here which I should stress, is that with declarations of love at 4 AM, please at least get the right address. Cheers. I've been down,